Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting, heart-pounding episode of Honor Among Thieves. I'll be your judge and host this evening. My name is Martin, and I am the lead writer here at Gaming Honors. I run games at Gen Con for Goodman Games, and I'm excited to be doing that again this year. I'm often in our booth at Gen Con, usually failing to heal my spouse, who plays our wizard, who usually takes the critical hits to show off our hero pins. And I'm excited to be here with all of you. Who else do I see up here on the Brady Bunch screen? Hayden, who are you?
I'm Hayden.
I should also point out that when I'm not the judge, I am Hack, one of the world's best warriors / former rutabaga farmers. Sorry, Hayden, go ahead.
Oh, you're all right, Martin. Hey, everybody. My name is Hayden. I have many roles at Gaming Honors. I have previously served as a booth jockey, a magical crash test dummy on the stream, and now, finally, officially involved and helping throw in my skills where I can as a project manager for Gaming Honors. So, very, very, very excited to be taking an official role of involvement in the company. And here on stream, I also regularly play roles as Sandy and Randy, the twins, best / worst wizard and cleric in the land, depending on the week.
They were much more identical as twins until Randy had all those corruptions.
That is very true. They used to look so alike, but these days, Sandy's very grateful to not have a beak or flesh that looks like it's always moving on to another place on his body.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys keep them apart. I don't see how you can tell which is which.
When you so did you land, Hayden, on project manager's title? Because I remember Keith, the gamer geek, had a really great suggestion that you should be called our official dope.
That's right.
Product engagement.
That's right. That's right. I'm the Gaming Honors dope.
Yeah, I mean, I really, we don't have to. I know Keith is very good, and we don't have to land. I mean, I think this can be kind of an ongoing series here on Gaming Honors, and Honor Among Thieves. People can just keep suggesting titles.
Hayden's role title of the week. I like that as a new segment.
And then maybe at the end of the year, just before Gen Con, we'll take a vote and print the business cards.
Very nice.
Lance, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I do mostly illustration for the modules and play testing, and then all the things that Martin does. I road reaver, games online, games in person, going to do games at Gen Con. We're all really excited about that. And yeah, so that's me. And tonight I'm going to be Bruise, as I usually am. And he had a great title too. I can't really recall. It had something to do with a damage sucking battle turtle, armored beast. So yeah, he's a big, fully plated fighter guy, meat shield, and he likes to bash things with his mace, cause bruising.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the tape, because you really did have an eloquent description of what you would call Bruise, and it was something like damage sucking armored turtle. It was
I was in flow at that moment. It just sort of came out. I can't recall.
Whoa, are you referencing Csikszentmihalyi?
Yes, I am. Csikszentmihalyi, one of my favorite psychologists.
Don't do this.
Yes, can you spell that for us, Martin?
Actually, if you're in the chat, we will give extra points to anyone who can spell Csikszentmihalyi off of the top of their head. Famous psychologist who invented the concept of flow. While we're waiting, Kate, say a little bit about yourself.
I'm Kate, and I am a friend and fan of Gaming Honors, and started gaming this year. Tonight on the show, I play Headlock. He's a warrior, used to be a locksmith, and he's a now converted rutabaga lover.
Wow. Yeah, that's really all that Hack needs, right? It just one person more. Oh, we've got some really great spellings of Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi happening in the chat. I like them both. Femboy Reads and Garrett Gupp have very good suggestions. All right, so now you know a little bit about us. You will learn a lot more before the night is through. But moving on, we're going to move to a segment that we're really excited about. Oh, getting closer, I think, Mayor for Self, but nope. This is a segment we like to call I Scry with My Little Eye. And this is a really exciting part of the show because it's a time when we get to tell you a little bit about what we have coming from Gaming Honors this year. And first of all, some of you were, and we're grateful to all of you who backed our forthcoming module, Diapers and Daycares, which is a parody role-playing game all about parenthood. And we've been getting, we're well on track to have this launched, to have this mailed out to our backers in advance of our date. And we've been getting some amazing art in. And so first, I wanted to show you, and I'm going to trust Elena showing this. We have in the module, in the adventure, which is sort of a rule book, we have a sample module called the Temple of Elementary People. And actually, we play tested that module live on Honor Among Thieves a few months back. And you can see we've got there's the original art by Keith Parkinson, which was on the famous TSR module that now you can get reimagined from Goodman Games. And then we've got Matt Morrow's amazing homage and parody of the Temple of Elementary Evil, including the parent with the donut. And I just think he's done a great job of sort of capturing the spirit of that temple and translating it into a playground. So that's going to be in the module. And Kate, he's got some other cool stuff. What else have we gotten in from him?
So one of the character classes that is going to be available is one that's near and dear to my heart. It's the Paladin. It was the last added, I believe, to the options, and it fits myself, and I know some of our folks in the chat will also agree. The Paladin. The thrills and chills of Diapers and Daycare are so sweeping, so all-encompassing, you don't even have to even be a parent to be a parent player character. How can this be? Well, look around any happy child and you see an entire cast of aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends, you name it, all doing their part to help that little bundle of laughter and liquids navigate the ups and downs of life. And why is such a kind, generous, and let's face it, fortunate individual known as the Paladin? Well, in my experience, these individuals are often the ones who give the young one their very first drum set or guitar for a birthday, or take them to their first rock concert. And shout out to my own Paladin, my aunt and uncle. In other words, Paladin, bring in the noise and the fun.
Yeah, and we thank you, Kate. And I sort of said to Matt, hey, do you think you can take this Frank Frazetta, the famous Frank Frazetta drawing, a painting of Death Dealer?
That's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, it's such an amazing piece of art.
For that. Is there something else I can help with?
Siri wants to know if she can help me with that. Okay.
It's funny she only picked up when we said Death Dealer. That's
Yeah.
a spooky Siri you've got there.
You know, she's been trained. Anyway, so I sent it to Matt and I said, can you take this Death Dealer picture and make it into you know, a fun smiling woman on a motorcycle with a guitar? And sure enough, right? And there is a great comic of it. So he just did a great job. And so yeah, our Paladin truly does rock. Lance, what are you going to tell us about?
I'm going to tell you about a class called the Investigator. The Investigator knows that good parenting is all about knowing as much as you can about everything that you can. At first, all of the latest books and magazines, and closely analyzing your little one's behavior. You need to know their grunts and their bowel movements as well. Okay, the bowel movements don't reveal that much, but really it's just kind of gross. In later years, when children clam up and more jealously protect their privacy, which this household has a little bit of that, so I can relate for sure, at least at home, if not on the internet, They clean socks in the morning. Who was at the party last night? You need to know what the teacher really said about the optional assignment. Wow, why is this really ringing so true for me right now? I mean, we all know that knowledge is power. So it only stands to reason that the more you have of one, the more that you have of the other. Am I correct? So the investigator.
Yeah, and I sent Matt the amazing Jeff Easley Dungeon Master's Guide cover, the painting called Abandoned Hope. And he did a great job again, sort of turning it into a well-meaning dad wondering why there's a strange smell coming out of the closet. And it took me, Matt pointed out to me, it was like, oh, do you see the apple core sort of floating in the stuffed animals? So yeah, he did a great job with the investigator, inspired by Jeff Easley. Hayden, what do you know about what other great art do we have coming in?
Well, Martin, I can tell you a thing or two about the multitasker. So let's talk about multitasking. Parenting is not simply a matter of procreating, if only. No. Parenting is a complicated, multifaceted, full-time occupation that you undertake alongside everything else you are doing, or want to be doing. Diapers and Daycare often demands you balance competing obligations and desires and find a way to complete several different jobs at once, or sort of complete them anyway. So multitaskers are more gifted than other characters at performing the juggling act, taking advantage of their intelligence to develop systems and schedules to get things done, and then using their superior constitution to pull them through their grueling routine. Multitaskers never leave the house for only one errand when they can run two, for example. They can talk on the phone to their mother, help their son with his math homework, and type a last-minute email for work all at the same time. They also have unusually short lifespans. While intelligence and constitution are key ability scores for multitaskers, their charisma tends to be lower, as other parents usually don't like them very much, looking upon them with a mixture of fear, envy, and resentment.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that you're learning a lot about us tonight. I really wrote this module straight from life. So yes, and I'm not a good multitasker, and I do fear and envy those who are. So yeah, here's another great Jeff Easley cover, The Last Spell, the painting The Last Spell that's on the cover of the old original TSR Unearthed Arcana. You can see Matt transferred that idea of the multitasker surrounded by all the things that he needs to do at once right into the baby room. And I asked him about, I was like, oh, so what's he doing? Is he making something? He was like, no, I just figure like you've got to have a home office anywhere. And so like this is actually the multitasker's home office as well as the baby room. And again, he did a great job. And so we will have this for sale on our website. We'll be selling it at Gen Con, I'm sure. We'll get it out to our backers first, but look for it this spring. The art's coming in fast, so we're really super excited to get this out. And that's not all that's coming this spring. Hayden, what else do we have on the agenda?
Well, Martin, I am glad you asked. So we have been trying to slowly expand the variety that we are offering with our wonderful original product, the hero pins, featured right here on all of our different outfits. So we want to roll into the convention season with another new offering on hero pins. And so in hopefully a little more than a month, we should be launching our new design for hero pins, oriented especially towards all of you who want to be able to have them to represent your monstrous creatures, the dragon hero pin.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
Yes! Finally, bringing the flame and intensity of dragons to the hero pin lineup.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I know Garrett Gupp's in the chat, and I've seen him do this, and I do it all the time. One of the cool things about hero pins is when you're the judge, they can hang on the edge of your screen, and so you can use them to show how the monsters are doing. And so we were really excited to be able to make a monster pin. And so we're going to kickstart that, right, Hayden?
Yes, we're going to kickstart it. We will hopefully be launching it in somewhere around the realm of 5 to 6 weeks. I don't want to set a specific date because who knows if it could vary a little bit, but keep an eye out on all of our social media buzz because it's coming real soon.
Yeah, with the hope that we'll have it done so we could have it at Gen Con, right?
Yeah,
Yes, that is the intention.
that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to be able to bring, because we were excited this year to bring the whole expanded lineup of all of the different hero archetypes to Gen Con. So now we'll have the monsters to pile on top of it.
Did we work in the feature I wanted where every time that you spin it, the breath weapon shoots out?
No, maybe we could have a spray like a flower. Like, how are you doing?
Yeah, we could get it done technologically. It worked great, but there were so many liability concerns about being able to just blast the Gen Con attendants with fire.
Fill it with butane, a little squirt, a little split and tinder.
So Keith is asking in the chat, Keith, we wanted to show you the art tonight, but we actually are still in the process of fine-tuning it. We've got a great preliminary sketch of it. We're really happy with the dragon. There's a lot we really love about it. But we're also exploring how best to do a dragon Grim Reaper. I mean, one of the fun things about these pins is each hero has its own version of a Grim Reaper. And so having a kind of dragon Grim Reaper is really important to us. And so we're still just dialing that in. But as soon as we have the art, yeah, we'll be sure to share it right here on Honor Among Thieves.
World debut.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh, go ahead.
Garrett Gupp has the great thought: if you turn all the way to the "Don't bother me" section and people still won't leave you alone, that breath weapon would really take it to the next level.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let them know how you're feeling.
Yeah. I should also say, and actually I'm going off script here. At Gen Con, I know, look, Kate, this is the way we roll. That's right. It's all just random.
No rules.
Oh yeah, look at that. I rolled a 1.
It's a sandbox campaign of a show.
Yeah, it's a sandbox show. I actually did roll a 1, so that's terrible. But at Gen Con, as we are sitting at Gen Con, our plan is to launch a Kickstarter for a module that I know some people in the chat have play tested for us, All Chaos Great and Small. And this is a module that I've been working on with Lance. It comes from a concept that Lance had. And I sort of put a little bit of an H.G. Wells spin on it. But that'll be also coming up pretty fast. So it's a big year for us.
A pin and a module back to back. Wow.
A pin and a module. Well, and maybe, yeah, I mean, there's a lot coming. And speaking of a lot coming and very exciting, it's time to play So You Think You're a Peasant.
I've been trying.
I've got a good feeling for you tonight, Lance. So if you're a DCC aficionado, you know that one of the things that's cool about this game is you start as a 0-level peasant. And you're not a hero. You're sort of a cutthroat, a cut purse. You're a farmer who sort of finds yourself stumbling into adventure. So when you roll
up rutabaga patch,
maybe you're a rutabaga farmer. That's right. When you roll up your character, you roll on an occupation table to find out what kind of peasant you are. Well, we want to see if our friends here tonight have what it takes to be a peasant. And to put a spin on it, I'm going to be selecting an occupation from David Beatty's magnum opus, Weird Frontiers, awesome Weird West version of DCC. And we're going to find out if Hayden, Lance, or Kate, and you are welcome to play along at home, we're going to see if they have what it takes to be a 19th century peasant. So here we go. You will have 2 minutes to find this object or a reasonable facsimile of this object. And then you will all vote in the chat. Yeah, get your Weird Frontier book ready. It weighs about 15 pounds, and the occupations begin on page 25. Here we go. Ooh, that's a pretty good number. Okay.
I get so nervous during this part.
I know, waiting with bated breath.
This is an interesting I'm trying to imagine what this would be like in the 19th century out on the wild frontier, because here's the occupation: medical assistant.
Oh, here, take this leg and throw it out in the horse trough. Okay, sure, Doc.
You need to find me one poultice.
A
Poultice. One poultice. Off you go. I do not believe a poultice is a kind of chicken. I think that is poultry. Thank you, Elena. Oh, Garrett Cup's already got. Oh, wow. So people are racing in the chat. NyQuil. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I'm expecting, I shouldn't say it too loudly, I'm expecting Band-Aids. I think we should hold these players to a higher standard, because no 19th century medical assistant would have a Band-Aid. Oh, is it like a cream? Oh, thank you, Dice Station Zebra. A soft, moist, massive material. Okay, that's why I'm thinking of the bandage. Yeah, it's like, okay, kept in place with a cloth. Oh, that's interesting. See, I'm learning so much from all of you. Okay, that's awesome. It also sounds kind of gross, because really it seems like it might be made of whatever you like. Hayden must be reading up on the chat now too.
Oh, I didn't read. I didn't. What's you guys got poultice?
Yeah, they were helping me out, because I had a certain thing in mind that was.
I thought you rubbed it on your skin. Do you eat it?
No, no. I don't believe so.
I think you rub it on your skin. Yeah.
I was confusing it with the wrap that holds it on.
Oh.
And I think that in the I mean, really, I'm really wondering what they would have made this out of in the 19th century. But you are all back in the nick of time, which is great. And Kate, because you were back last, you get to go first. And before you show us, did you know what a poultice is?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you look it up, or did you just go running for things that began with the letter P?
I went running, and luckily I have my computer on very loud so I could hear you talk.
Wow.
Because I also was thinking, like, is that related to poultry? Or yeah, that's not a word I've used before, but you know I'm going to use it now.
To a balm.
I'm going to use it all the time.
Like the cousin of a balm is a poultice.
Yeah, I think next time you go into CVS or something, say, will you direct me to the poultice? All right, what do you have, Kate?
Where's your salve?
So I was going with more of the current century version than like the frontier times, being a present from this time. And I wasn't sure if it was the whole thing. So I got the ace bandage, and I got some hydrocortisone cream.
Oh,
because that seems like all together, if you smash that together and put it on basically anything, it's not going to be worse.
Oh, it's a fine poultice.
That's the type of assistant I would be.
Femboy Reeds and Mare for Self are all over the Silence of the Lambs.
It rubs the poultice on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
I was really hoping we would just miss that one.
Wait till I get up and tuck it full frontal in front of this camera.
Oh, Lance. So crazy trivia. Did you know, if any of you ever watched the TV show Monk, the suffering police lieutenant who always works with Monk is the serial killer from
Buffalo Bill
of the Lambs. He is Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill, yeah.
That is a varied Hollywood career. Okay, Lance. Kate's
Don't hurt my dog.
Kate's thrown the poultice down here. What do you got?
Well, originally made with ground up menthol plant and ground up horse hoof. It's a poultice for sore muscles. I get it on my neck all the time, I think, for multitasking. But this is the only poultice I need right here.
I see. Got
a little applicator. You pull it off, and then you squeeze it, and the poultice comes out, and you can rub it on your neck. Like right now, that feels so good. It keeps on like burning and tingling.
Are we
Yeah.
getting product placement money from Icy Hot?
I'm gonna send him an email after this stream and I'll find out. But
All right, and so we've got Icy Hot and Kate. What was your cream there?
It's hydrocortisone.
Hydrocortisone, and it's also in a plastic squeeze tube.
No, it's more of a medical, like metal with the, you could cramp
Oh
it.
yeah, okay. So
like
I'm
lead foil, yes.
yeah,
Rub that lead
that,
in there.
thank Vitani Maru is right. We've got to be careful here about our sponsorship possibilities. Hayden, what do you have for a possible poultice for the program? Please.
Well,
Does it
perhaps
have potential?
You've seen the preliminary poultices.
perhaps I will exclude perhaps I will exclude the name of the coalition of alchemists who put it together to
Yes,
avoid
go on the
that
backside.
sponsorship
Very
conflict.
Very wise.
But yeah, but here I have my plastic tube of triamcinolone acetonide poultice. For I think it's for bacterial infections, breakouts on the skin for treating, but it's been sitting in a cabinet for like 8 years, so who's to really say?
For the record, at the beginning of the show tonight, I did say you were going to learn a lot about us. And I think we are all learning a little too much.
Look, there are lots of things that can carry bacteria,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I'll give you I'll give you a quick story, Martin, as an example. I was shining my I was shining a laser pointer around one time, and my cat was chasing it and scratched the inside of my nose with a claw when I shone it too close to myself.
I remember that.
And then I looked like I had like an Oompa Loompa face for like 5 days. I was like orange.
What were you
You
trying
could
to
have
look
used a
at?
poultice.
Were you trying to look at the laser?
No, I was trying to be like, Kitty, come over here and be funny close to me. And then she said, okay. And then I got exactly what I asked for and realized I didn't want it.
Yeah, and
Cats.
Kate is asking, so then did you apply the poultice to your nose?
That may have been where this poultice came from, but I can't be sure.
So many bacteria. So much bacteria.
So many poultices back in the day, you know.
Didn't
All right,
poultices
so
used to come in? They came in snake oil jars. Wasn't that what it is?
I would think
Probably.
so. I'm really looking for to the chat for help, because I think you have all produced potentially passable poultices, but all are also partially problematic because of their plastic composition.
Please stop pandering. It's pathetic.
I see that the potentials are pullulating. That's a word, pullulating potential. And so let's vote. It's time to vote. Who is the peasant of peasants today?
You know, the problem with plastics is that they're consistent.
Oh, look.
I got a bandage in addition to hold my poultice in place.
We see Hayden
applying
his poultice. Lance had a built-in applicator, just like they did out in the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
I'm placing it on places, parts of my person.
Oh my God!
You're pushing it.
Hayden's has the coolest sciencey name. I mean, people are talking about a lot of. There's a lot to weigh here. And thank you, Vitani Maru, for contributing channel points. We are on fire this evening. I have to say, the vote is in. Lance, you are the peasant.
I'm back, baby.
Wow.
Nice.
Everybody loves a comeback story, Lance.
Yeah. So that makes 3 for me. I think I get a piece of that palette of filth.
Well, yes, you do.
Why, thank you.
Yes, authentic 1890 applicator. I think that Samuel Morse might have been involved in inventing the applicator of that poultice. So, wow, what a disgusting show that was. But yes, Lance, you did come out the winner. So congratulations and thank you all. I think
we're all the winner because we know what that word means.
Yeah.
poultice. And do you know what pullulating means, Kate?
No.
Multiplying rapidly.
Oh,
Spreading and multiplying.
yeah.
Pullulating. So yeah, we've all learned a lot tonight. And
what was it? Mary
Kind of like
herself had what
bacteria.
it pulchritudinous?
Pulchritudinous. Pulchritudinous.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's it looks like a word.
It is a word. I'm trying to remember what it
Quick,
means.
Mary, what's it mean?
Pulchritudinous. It's potential.
For the thesaurus portion of the show, we will be looking at multitudinous.
All right. Well, as we're looking, it means beautiful and appealing.
An appealing
Which
poultice.
does not sound that way at all.
That is not what I would have guessed.
I
Andrew,
apply my poultice
you
and
are
it's
so
appealing.
pulchritudinous.
I feel pulchritudinous tonight. Oh, so pulchritudinous.
With Valentine's Day right around the corner, I think we can all agree that we will be sending pulchritudinous Christmas cards to our dear ones.
What is happening?
All right.
I can't believe what I'm witnessing here.
Yeah, we're moving on. So thank you all for that. And we are going to check in now with Bruce, Headlock, and Sandy, the world's unluckiest adventurers. And we have actually a very special episode tonight because before we even return to the Vegemite Mountains, our heroes are going to level up.
Yes.
So you have probably been watching and seeing how amazingly adept these heroes are. And that's because they have reached the high rare level in DCC of 6th level. They have been 6th level warriors and clerics and wizards. And tonight they will become 7th level. So our warriors, if you turn to page 44 in your handy dandy core rulebook, and thank you, Mayor Purcell, for the bits. You will see how at level 7, holy moly, your attack die increases to a plus D10 plus 1. So that's a heck of a bonus on your attack roll. Still roll a D30 on the crit table 5. You get 2 attacks with 2 action die of D20. So 2 attacks, you get to roll a D20. Oh, and your reflex save is going to go up. +3, +4, +2. And also, you will get to roll a D12 and add those to your hit points.
How can we lose?
I know, you cannot rule. Double the chance to fumble. Garrett Gupp always looking on the bright side.
All right, here we go.
Eric.
Let's get those hit point rolls.
I rolled a 7.
They're pretty good, and you get to add your stamina bonus if you have one.
Got it. Sweet. That takes me up to 62 hit points now.
Holy moly, you are a damage-sucking, armor-clad turtle tank.
Turtle tank.
Hayden, I'm just catching up with you. Your chart is on page 31.
Yep.
And that's not looking too bad. You are getting a 4th level spell at this level, my friend.
Yes, I am. And I am very excited. Sandy's power grows.
Kate, did you roll your hit points?
So, since this is an educational portion of the show as well,
Yes.
what do I roll for when I level up for the hit points for this? Then what do I roll? Which one of those? Is that
So if you look at your hit die, which is on the page before, it tells you each class has a hit die, which tells you what kind of dice you roll to get your hit points. Your hit die is a D12, so you're going to roll a D12 and add it to your total of hit points.
Gotcha.
All right, I guess I'll be rolling
I got
a
12.
D8.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you get to add 12, and if you have a stamina bonus...
I don't.
Okay, well, you still get to add 12 points. That's a huge...
Woohoo!
And Hayden, what about you? What's your, is it a D10?
8.
D8. How'd you do?
Well, I'll tell you right now with this die that was given to me by the mighty Rob Swanson.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
good friend of the thieves.
A 6.
Not bad.
No,
Yep.
not bad.
Decent boost. All
All
right.
right. So are you all ready to roll at level 7?
Woo! I'm not sure I've ever played a level 7 DCC character in my life until this moment.
No, I don't think I have. I think the highest we've taken through a natural campaign is Chained Coffin,
Yeah.
which got you up to level 5.
That
What
was
were
fun.
the levels that we were at in the tournament years ago?
I think level 4.
4?
I
Okay.
think level 4.
Oh, right on Riders of the Phlogiston?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think level 4. All right, so when we last left our adventurers, they had traveled to a mysterious ruined temple, and there they were mystified by scorch marks on the walls. And after about 20 rounds of throwing fruit and vegetables in the temple in an attempt to set off traps that did not exist, they ventured into the temple and were confronted by ash creatures. They were huge ashes. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. They fought these ash creatures, and they learned that the ash creatures had actually been conjured by one of the true enemies of our heroes. They were bad ashes. One of the true enemies of our heroes, Rutabagas, who was a long-term rival of Hack when he was a rutabaga farmer. But she had run into Sandy at the temple, and they had a tremendous battle, and ultimately Sandy had managed to drive her off, but she had left these ash creatures there. And then that's where we are. Does that sound right to all of you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so you were traveling through the Vegemite Mountains in search of fortune and fame and pulchritudinous plenty. And you set out on the road, and as you're proceeding along the path into the Vegemite Mountains, you're hearing a roaring sound of rushing water, and it's getting louder and louder as you're walking into the mountains. And as you round a bend, you see a river that's just racing down the mountainside. Huge. It's probably 30 feet across, this river. And the remnants of what was once a stone bridge are littering the path right in front of you. Something has just destroyed this bridge. You can see some huge stones kind of in the middle of the water where the bridge is collapsed. You see what was once, the beginning of the bridge on your side. But now it's all just rubble. And the water is almost white. The rapids are so fast here racing by you. Here you are.
Does it look like we could try an attempt to walk across the rapids, or are we way up in the air and the rapids are below us?
No, you could get to the water. But I will say, judging by when you see where the stones are laying and things, you're worried that the water might be at least 8 feet deep.
Oh.
And the rapids are pretty fast.
Well, I'm suited up in this full plate armor, so that water is not going to hurt me if I smack into it. I don't see what could go wrong. Could probably just walk right across here, like hop a little bit.
As much as I admire the tenacity, we're pretty high up at this point in altitude, right? How cold is that water likely to be?
Well, it comes from, probably, you don't know how far up it comes, but it would be pretty cold. I mean, you are not above tree line or anything, but yeah, the water's going to be pretty cold. What is your armor? Is your armor plate?
Full
Bruce?
plate.
Full plate, and you want to walk into the water with it.
What could possibly go wrong? No. So
Rust?
perhaps I shan't.
Have you oiled those armor hinges lately? It's important for maintenance,
Any other options?
how far across? Can we jump it?
As I said, it's about 30 feet.
30 feet.
So let's look around and maybe see if there are any rock faces that look like they would be traversable. And while I'm doing that, I'll also keep an eye out to see if there are maybe any overlooked caves or crevices that we could get into that might help us circumnavigate the waterfall.
Well, you know what? If you were a little bit more like your brother, this wouldn't even be a problem. I don't know if you realize it, but he has gills. He could just walk right in there, walk across, and drag the rope over there.
Well, I prefer that my face is still intact and recognizable by other humans.
I prefer that you had gills right now.
Wow. It's getting a little personal. Sandy, give me a personality check.
Sure thing. Okay. That's not very high. I think that's like a, well, passable, I suppose. No, 9.
You don't see necessarily any cliff faces or like caves or anything right by the riverbank. It's pretty rocky. There are several, of course, huge trees around you. Can you all give me intelligence checks?
For what it's worth.
Ha-ha! I rolled a 1. I know the solution.
You think I should walk
11.
across on the stones, right? I rolled
11?
a 5.
5. Okay, so actually only Headlock knows. Headlock, you've actually heard of this river. It is actually known as the Crimea River.
Oh.
Wow.
From Crimea?
The Crimea River. Okay, so yes. What do you want to do?
That's all I get for being smart. What
Tell us about this
this-
Crimea River headlock.
it's been immortalized in song.
Yes.
Many a boy band of bards. Our
Well, I taught
bard
that
boy
weeping
band.
willow how to
A
cry.
boy bard band. So what I don't happen to have an axe. Does anyone else? We could chop down some trees to crawl across.
I have a short sword I'm not too concerned about. I could try and use a short sword to hack something, down. Anybody have an axe? Hack.
I have a
that would have been Hack.
mace.
Where the hell's Hack, by the way? Yeah, so we start looking around, and do you guys know where Hack's at?
Oh, what did him and Randy go and get off into?
They had to apply some poultices after the last combat, and so they returned to the tavern in the town and
Poultice party.
had a poultice party and had some smoothies.
How predictable.
Predictable poultice party. So you don't have any axes. What else do you have? Do you have I mean, I heard Bruce mention a rope. Yeah, Mare for Self now. Thank you. Now the chat is coming to your aid.
I do. Sandy does have 50 feet of rope. He pulls it out and looks at the other 2 people with him, shrugs.
I have a 10-foot pole.
You can pole vault it.
Yeah, you can pole vault over with the rope tied on you, and then you can tie it off on the other side. We'll tie off the rope on this side, and then we'll pull ourselves across on the rope.
I don't feel great about my pole vaulting skills.
How agile are you?
Could we maybe tie the rope to the pole? I don't know. That wouldn't help.
Well,
And, like, ring it around something on the other side. Lasso.
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking kind of a makeshift grappling hook type thing where you get it between 2 of the rungs on the other side of the bridge and then pull it taut so that the pole gets lodged between 2 of the rungs. But that would be a pretty impressive trick shot.
Huh.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Bruce?
I'm thinking I wish we would have gotten grappling hook as one of the so you think you're a peasant things, and then we could have a grappling hook to throw across, is what I'm thinking.
True.
I'll see if I can hack down. 30 feet's not. So I'm looking for a tree that's like 50 foot tall. A fast growing like aspen or something, so it could get real tall but wouldn't be super thick.
Yeah.
Anything I get, and then I'm going to try and hack it down with my short sword. 2 hands on the and just hack. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
it's not my thing usually, but
what was your tell me your occupation back when you were a peasant?
when I was a peasant, I was an outlaw.
And how about you, Headlock and Sandy? What were your occupations?
Locksmith.
Before he was convincing people to tithe to the Temple of Gorhan, Sandy was a caravan guard.
Okay. So I am seeing Mayor for Self suggested maybe you could throw it like a javelin. Dice Station Zebra says that he finds the whole idea appalling. Oh my gosh, that is gold. That is comedy gold. But yeah, I will tell you. So sure enough, Bruce, there are plenty of trees here. And yeah, it is a heroic sight. You hacking at this tree with your short sword. Soon the blade is dull and
just like its wielder.
But yes, sure enough, you are able to, between your hacking at it with the sword and your just massive brute strength, you're able to push this tree and it kind of crashes against the other side on the other bank.
All right. Well,
but you did tell me that you wanted a tree that was relatively small.
Yep.
So you will probably not be able to walk on it.
No, I figured it would have branches and stuff sticking out. So I mean, kind of like crawling on all fours is what I was envisioning. Just through the fallen tree.
Can it hold? Can it hold our weight? Do we think?
It's not like we're wearing full plate armor or anything. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to give it a try, Martin.
All right. So the tree goes crashing down and it's across the river. It surely is.
Hey, hold on. You want to tie yourself off or are you just going to go for it?
If I tie myself off, I got to keep untying it, then tying it, then untying it, then tying it. That sounds like a real hassle.
Okay.
I mean, we could tie it to a tree just to anchor
you could tie. Oh, so like give me a long rope and tie it off on this side. That's a really smart idea. So
that you go down the rapids.
I don't know why I didn't think of that, except I know why, because I'm not too bright. So, okay, let's do that.
All right. So Bruce ties the rope around his waist. You anchor the Headlock and Sandy. You anchor it to a tree, and Bruce, you're sort of. It's you can't stay on the tree very well. Pretty soon you're in the water. Like you're at least sort of hanging onto the tree, working your way across. Suddenly, out of the water jumps it looks like these enormous fish come jumping out of the water. They're huge fish. They look like carp. But when you see them, a carp would jump and then fall. These carp jump into the air, but then they stay in the air because you realize that it's the head of a carp attached to a giant tentacle.
Oh, sweet.
This is the horrifying Carpe Seizum monster that has come to attack you. Roll for initiative.
It's a Crimea carp.
You stole that idea from Dead Bard Society.
The Dead Bard Society.
Ah! Oh, doggone it. I rolled a 1 for the initiative.
Do you have a bonus?
No agility bonus.
Oh my gosh.
Initiative bonus +6. Ooh, I didn't update. Is it still +6 for a level 7?
I don't remember.
It would be +7 for a level 7, I believe.
It goes up every 1 by 1. Okay.
So you're an 8?
So +7, so I have an 8.
Okay. Headlock, what's your initiative?
22.
Wow.
Woo.
All right.
I'm full of initiative.
And you're full of initiative.
You might be a multitasker.
You're a go-getter. Sandy?
12.
12. All right, here we go. So actually,
Carpe Seizum.
Headlock, you are actually first, and you see easily 5 of these carp tentacles, because we hate invasive species on Honor Among Thieves. There are 5 of these carp tentacles now waving in the water all around Bruise.
Okay. Boy, how does one fight a carp? Whatever. What is it called?
Carpe Seizum.
Carpe. Um. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to dive into the water with my dagger.
You're going to double headlock it and float downstream, leaving me.
Is a dagger your only weapon?
Well, I got a mace, but that seems inappropriate in this setting too.
Okay.
You said it's 8 foot deep, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
oh
yeah,
wait, no, that would be crazy. I have a crossbow.
Okay.
I've never used I haven't used this crossbow.
So you're gonna use your agility bonus. That'll be what you do for your attack.
And you get 2 attacks.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm gonna
I think
wield
you'll
my.
have to reload.
And this is gonna okay. And since I got to do this twice. Oh.
Whoa! Before you say another word, as you aim that crossbow, you feel what seems to be some kind of divine energy streaming down from the highlands of Canada, guiding your bolt with incredible accuracy. And so, in fact, I think you rolled a natural 20. This is for you, Joss. So yes, you shoot, and it's a critical hit, Kate.
Huzzah!
I mean, Headlock, you've hit it. You've done a critical.
Gorhan be praised.
That's amazing. Okay.
Hey, we aim to please here on Honor Among Thieves, and Joss Stitch said, "Hey, what about those critical hit tables?" So you're on critical hit table 5, and you get to roll a d30.
Okay, come on, baby. Try not to roll away from me.
They do tend to roll forever.
Okay. So then do I add, what am I adding here?
Your luck bonus.
Okay, then that's a 21.
Oh my gosh. Godly attack. Inflict an additional 3d12 damage. So you're gonna roll your crossbow damage, and then you're gonna add 3d12. Just like the Canadians, godly damage.
They're so helpful. Did my speed die change when we leveled up?
1d10 plus 1.
Is that her
Yeah,
D
it did,
die?
okay.
Yeah, that's your D die, yeah.
Yeah, a 1d10 plus 1.
I just want to make sure I'm doing the right one.
God damage. That is not a swear. That is actually a phrase, for the record.
Yes.
That is not a swear.
Okay.
That
So
came in gore handy.
first one
godly
was 12, and then 2d20, right? Was that what you said?
No,
For the critical?
you roll 3d12 for damage now.
3d12, okay. Okay, that's right. So that was 1. I only have the 1, so do it.
Yep. Somebody needs to
19
get more
is
dice.
what I got.
So total of, what was your, so you rolled 3d12 plus you added your original.
Oh no, yeah, plus I added my original, which was 11.
So 30
So
damage.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you know what's interesting is you were able to, in the water, pick out what you saw, the sort of bulbous mass of the body of this creature. And it seems like you were able to lodge an arrow pretty close to its eye. And some blood comes spurting out. The water is foaming and turning red. So that was quite a blow. You do get 2 actions, but I'm going to say that you don't get to shoot your crossbow again. You'll have to reload it. or you can drop it and attack with another weapon. It's up to you.
I'll reload and let my friends take a stab at these guys.
Okay, that was a nice tactic if your friends were up next. But
Oh,
unfortunately, they are not. So the first carp tentacle goes and tries to bite poor Bruise. I fumbled. That is amazing. I cannot believe it.
How karmic.
I know. I mean, I'm not going to fudge the dice on my own creature as much as I want to. What's the fumble table for this thing? Where is it? I didn't have it marked.
Oh. I have the crit tables bookmarked. I know that they're
okay,
close.
I got it. It's page 80. Page 80.
Okay.
All right, here we go. How the tide has turned. That's right, Garrett. Okay, but actually, you trip but may recover with a DC 10 reflex save. Otherwise, you must spend the next round prone. So obviously, it doesn't trip, but maybe it does have the potential to be tangled up. But it's fine. But what I will say, because it fumbled, its other heads can't attack. So like it sort of gets all lashed up and thrashed up, and it can't attack again. Sandy.
Well, that sucked. Sandy pulls out that zinger, and then he sticks out both of his hands, and he yells out, "The Lord of Helmed Vengeance banish you back to the deep!" And he casts curse on these creatures. Bless
I'm
you.
allergic to carp.
Bless
on
you.
all of these different tentacle carp heads. So we bop over to curse on page 273.
Okay.
And now that the profound curse has been uttered, let us roll and see if Gorhan's blessing is coming. Ooh.
Yes, you are feeling the power of Gorhand channeled through the power of Joss Stitch, filling you up with magical power.
Yes, and I unleash all of it, rolling a 20, and with my +7 from being a 7th level cleric, that's a 27 on the curse roll.
Wow.
So, let's see what happens. This curse is cast upon a group, in this instance, a group of
Heads.
tentacle carp heads. A minus, so they suffer these things.
Okay.
A -2 luck penalty.
Okay.
A -2 penalty to one other statistic. I think maybe I could just roll a d5 and we could decide right now what that's going to be. That's a 3, so stamina.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's going to
Alright.
affect hit points. -2 on stamina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
And a specified physical or mental limitation. And then it gives a lot of
Can't
wiggle
swim.
room here.
They can't handle pencils well.
Those carp have a lot of limitations already.
Yeah.
Indeed, they do. I'm gonna say they can't. Well, let's just say that they cannot see. They are now blinded. That's one of
blind
the
them.
examples that's given. So they can flail randomly.
Wow. Okay, so what
There's
is
a
the
blind
effect?
rule, I think.
Yeah, what is the
DCC.
effect of blind? Is it just a
50% miss, or is that
50%?
We can go with that. I don't have it pulled
right.
up right
Okay,
now.
well, I'm going to say, if you can look that up, Hayden, in the meantime, I'll say that, yeah, because that was a great roll. All of these carp heads, suddenly their eyes go glassy white like cave fish, and their tentacles are waving around, but it seems like they cannot see.
Yeah. And so just to finalize it, the duration's ongoing until a specific condition is met. The condition must have meaning to Gorhan or the target. So it must be within its power to achieve. So yeah, they give a lot of examples here that are pretty wide ranging. So I yell out, Until you swim downstream, you cannot see our holy might. And so if they want to fight us, they're going to fight us blind.
Okay. And do you get
Yep.
another action too?
Yes, I do. And I suppose if you can more than two spells in one turn, is that doable?
I think so. You get two actions. You get
Mhm.
Well, yeah, you know what? I am gonna say, now that he's got a spell off successfully and is feeling that righteous power, he also wants to just throw himself into the fray. He's just gonna
Okay.
swing at the heads with the mace.
Okay, so you're gonna go to the. You'll have to go to the edge of the water.
That's fine.
Okay,
He's ready for that.
all right,
They
edge of the
can't see
water.
him anyway. And Sandy rolls a mighty 2 on that attack roll, plus 4 gets him to 6.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not going to do it.
Yeah.
But Bruce, you are in the water. You are clutching. You're clutching the branches. You're up.
Okay, so for blinding, a completely blinded opponent flails about wildly, suffering a -8 penalty to attack rolls,
Okay.
and can move only in random directions at half speed.
All right. What do you want to do?
I am going to, with one hand still holding the tree, I'm going to start bashing with my mace.
Okay.
So first bash. I rolled an 18, which is
Actually-
a critical for me.
And it would have been a critical anyway because you feel the divine power of Canadian might
Yes.
descending upon you, courtesy of Joss Stitch, who's now in the chat. It was all you, Joss, all along.
Thank you very much.
Roll a d30 on that crit table 5.
I love rolling these D30s. Here we go. An 11.
What do you got? Can you read it?
Let me pull
Oh,
the
I got it.
page.
I got
You
it. At 11. You see red. Inflict an additional d12 damage with this strike as you are overcome by battle rage.
All right. So my D10 was I rolled a 2. That's 3 damage there. The mace does 4 more. That's 7 damage. And then the 12, another 7. 14 damage total with a clobber on the mace.
Ooh.
And then with my second attack, I am rolling. This time I rolled a 16 and an 8, which is 9. So that's 25, but no crit. And
That hits, though.
That one is a 9 for that damage and a 7, 8. So that's 17 more damage on the second attack. Boom, boom.
Wow.
Double bruise.
All right. So it is really hurt. So it's, like you actually, like you hit 2 of those heads so hard, they just sort of explode into a pulpy mass of fish flesh and scales, and the tentacles just writhe and splash into the water. This thing is really in pain.
Speaking of that, you just gave me a visual. I just watched Willow for the first time in years the other day, the original Willow.
Yeah.
And the tentacle head thing when the head explodes.
Yeah, that'll work. And it screams fish heads. Oh my gosh. Eat them up, yum. I took my fish head out to see a movie.
Holy,
Didn't have to
holy
pay to get it in.
heads.
They cry the fish cry of pain. The fish scream of agony.
When carp cry, do.
Okay, this is what it sounds like when the carp
This is
cry.
what it sounds like.
Headlock, you are up.
All right. So I've loaded my bow and I'm gonna take another shot at it to see if we can.
When the carp cry.
Smell, if you will, these fishes.
I'm really glad that Randy
See all
isn't
their-
here.
Gooey insides.
Oh, good Lord. They've got
Ever
their
since-
fish heads tied up in knots. Don't make me smash you.
Ever since Randy grew those gills, he's been real sympathetic to fish. This would
Did you
make him
say
so
Randy
sad.
Gill?
All right, take your shot there, Headlock.
All right, let's go.
This thing is hurting.
He's related to Vince Gill, the Bard.
28.
What? What did you roll?
Isn't that right?
What was your to hit roll? You rolled a d20?
Yeah, and a 10.
And a D10 plus 1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, total hit. I forgot I'm
Whoa.
dealing with like gods of war here.
You're not
We're-
dealing with 6th level.
I know these
Anymore.
7th level warriors are insane. Go ahead.
What do I hit? Did I hit? Did you
Yeah,
tell me?
that hits. Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually,
ready
the
for-
fish monster's armor class was 29.
Yeah. Next time, next time that fish armor class is going to be much higher.
Ugh.
You gonna scale it up?
Oh boy, yes.
Oh,
Oh man.
So can I include my deed in this too, right?
Yep.
So 16.
All right. Tell me about how you managed to kill the Carpe Seizum, Kate. I mean, Headlock.
Well, my arrow goes screaming into the mass of fish brain, and you hear one last carp cry. Do 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 do. Beow, 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 beow. And then Prince is up above going, that's what it sounds like.
And I think you actually mean the artist formerly known as. But yes, so yes,
Justice.
with a thrashing, all of the carpi tentacles thrash around at once, and then they collapse onto the tree branch. And and yes, calamari. You can.
I do like me some seafood.
I don't know how. I mean, we do as a species, we need to start learning how to enjoy carp. I think we need to eat ourselves out of the carp problem here in Indiana. But in the world of the Vegemite Mountains, I would not suggest eating the Carpe Seizum, but you can use the corpse. It's a massive corpse. And by using the tree branch and these different things, you are able to cross the mighty
Crimea River.
Crimea River. You cross the mighty Crimea River.
And now we're on the Russian annexed side.
You have defeated the Carpe Seizum, and you have taken this day. Well done.
Now we can look for the famed bard Justinius Timberlocken.
Yes, and actually give me,
Oh.
that is a great point. Give me an intelligence check, all of you. Or
Okay.
actually personality. Give me personality checks.
Personality.
12. Sending a 12.
15.
8.
All right, so Headlock. And this is fitting because you had sighted that creature, and as it died, and you noticed it's like embedded in its flesh almost, like as if someone maybe had tried to drive it in. There is some kind of round container, like waterproof container. And as you pry it out of the beast's flesh and you open it, it's carefully sealed. You pour its contents into your hand, and they're a kind of seed. It's a collection of seeds. And as you look at it more closely, you know what they are. These are
Rutabaga seeds.
rutabaga seeds. And yet, emanating from
Jackpot.
the rutabaga seeds, Sandy, you are struck by some kind. I mean, these seeds are almost vibrating with some kind of arcane power. These are rutabaga seeds like none have ever seen before. And that's where we're going to leave off our adventure.
Hacking the magic rutabaga stalk, anybody?
All right, so we have just a couple minutes left, and I think because there isn't a show after us, let's take them and let's do a quick roll on the random items table. How about
Let's do
it?
it. Let's roll some
Yes.
dice.
If anyone's got a D16 handy, can you give me a D16 roll?
Let's do it.
Got her, Hayden?
5 favorite adventures / modules.
Oh, okay, love it. So 5, yes, our favorite adventures / modules. And I know, Kate, this will be trickier for you because you've only actually played a couple now. Well, how many have you played?
Less than 5.
Right, but I think you've played a few. I think didn't you play Peasant Spell Bargain?
I did, yes.
Yeah, you've played a few. So you can think it over. Hayden, what do you think? What's one of your favorite adventures or modules?
Are we you thinking for the nature of the question sticking to like published works, written out ones?
No, I mean, why don't you do one of each? Because of course our audience will know the published modules better.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I enjoy Sailor. I mean, I think Sailors of the Starless Sea is just a classic in terms of dungeon crawl classics. I love it. I think it does a great job of taking that concept of the peasants not having any idea what they're getting into, and then all of a sudden being blown into this world of mystique, unlike anything that they've ever seen. But just predominating my mind on adventures that feel epic in scale. Thad's Blackmore campaign is always just lurking in the back of my brain, and I can never get it out as just a real pinnacle of sandbox gaming.
Yeah, he did do a great job with that. And I agree. Sailors Under the Starless Sea is such a great Tomb of Horrors. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Garrett.
I mean, I could sit here and just splurge on all of our modules, but I feel like there's a certain cutoff point where.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Lance, what about you? What's a favorite adventure module?
I really, on the DCC side, Sailors, of course, is classic, but I really love the Emerald Enchanter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Level 2, or is that 3? 2 or 3. Yeah, I really love the Emerald Enchanter. There's a lot of interesting, quick backstory for it, and then there's just all kinds of really super cool things in his keep. The rooms are really neat. There's puzzle rooms. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Emerald Enchanter. And then for old like Dungeons and Dragons, I really loved the Slavers modules, A1, A2,
yeah.
A3, and A4. Yeah, I really loved the Slavers modules when we ran them. We must have been maybe like 8th grade or freshman in high school when we played them. And I don't know if I've went back and read them, and I think a lot of the magic isn't really in the pages. The framework's there, but we just made it something special back then. Played it all summer long, so I'm fond of that one.
That's cool. Kate, how about you? Of the less than 5 that you've played?
Yes. So I don't have many to choose from. So I have to say, probably the Weird Frontiers adventure that we went through with Garrett Cup recently. Mostly because that whole genre really speaks to me. And like I've always loved those like supernatural type baddies and stuff like that. I also though was a really big fan of the Pleasant Pheasant Festival adventure that our warriors went on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean that one is always going to be near to my heart.
Yeah, Hayden, that was brilliant. That really came out of nowhere, and you really set the tone I mean, you've changed the entire nature of the adventures of these unlucky warriors with that encounter.
I'm glad you enjoyed running I was gonna make that joke. Beat me to the punch.
Beat you to the punch.
I
Great minds think alike.
I just did a little bit of Googling because I wanted to make sure I got the title of this right, but I have only once kind of fanboyed on a module, and I know you were in this adventure, Lance. Hayden, I'm not sure if you were, but this is a Lankmar module that Michael Curtis wrote called Acting Up in Lankmar.
Yeah.
And in this module, did you play that with us, Lance? Were you there?
I can't remember if I played it or not.
Hayden, were you there?
A bell.
Nope.
So the way the adventure plays out is you're hired to basically protect a theater during a show.
Oh, I played it. No, I did. I played it.
Yeah. And one of the amazing things about this module is that there is an entire page of dialogue for a play that as characters you have to act. Yeah. So it's like faux like restoration drama. I mean, And when I say fan, like so we played that module. I've never laughed so hard. And we went to Gen Con and I walked up to the Goodman booth and there was just some guy there. And I was like, I don't know, I was buying something. I was like, and by any chance, do you know who Michael Curtis is? Is he around? And he was like, well, why do you want to know? And I was like, well, because I just played this module and it was amazing. And he flipped his badge around and it was Michael Curtis. It was crazy. And I mean, I just, that was a great moment for me. And I had to tell him, like, I just think that is one of the most clever modules that I've played.
We had a great time with that night.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And actually, all of Lankmar is great. I could go on and on. There's so many great adventures, but that one really sticks. All right, everyone. I think it's time to roll the body so we can let Elena go drink some tea and recover because we are all sending her healing vibes. But let's see how you're doing. You all have a lot of luck now, I imagine. Rolling under your luck.
Oh, I'm dead again.
Oh my gosh, spin that pin.
I'm dead 2 weeks in a row. Oh, by the way, I do like this the resurrection capabilities that our characters have because I failed to roll the body last week and yet Bruce is here in the flesh.
That's the way it goes. Kate?
I'm good. Headlock lives.
All right. How about you, Sandy?
Sandy rolled a meager 3. He's feeling okay.
All right, great. So it could be that Bruce, yes, you just have the favors of the chat always with you.
Well, what happened was when we finally killed the Carptopus or the Carpe Seizum, Bruce was so excited that he took both hands like this and went, huzzah! And then once he let go of the tree, he just sank straight down in the river and bloop, 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 bloop.
Down he went.
There he went.
So as you heard, we have a lot of stuff coming up this spring. So please follow us on Instagram at Gaming Honors RPG.
You can also find us on Facebook at Honor Your Game.
And you can always look up gaminghonors.com.
That's right. So thank you all, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
See
Thanks,
ya.
everybody.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.